There we go.
Can you see my screen?
Yep. Looks great. Yeah, we just see a little bit, we can see a little bit of the border, but that's fine
You
if you
can,
don't want to pop it up. That's okay.
yeah, you know what? I switched my laptop and I'm still figuring out how to maneuver. So I needed to use a different system than last time.
Yeah, it still looks great. So just feel free to get started. Go for it.
Amazing. Good afternoon. Thank you. I am Sylvia Gedge. I am the CEO of ScriptString AI. And it's a sustainability reporting software for real estate. And what we do, we automate end-to-end to reduce greenhouse emissions, improve sustainability outcomes, and we do that without spreadsheets. The problem that speaking with clients and partners sort of across many different industries, but specifically within the real estate, it was that the folks in the sustainability teams, they just didn't have enough time. They don't have enough time every month to do carbon reporting, sustainability reporting. It's coming from many different systems, and it's always a crunch time, and it is happening in Excel for the most part. Whoever we spoke to, they have many different systems and tools, but it comes down to Excel. So we do understand that Excel, it's as much as I love Excel, my background is in finance and transformation, and it always has been the tool to go to, but it doesn't integrate with other systems. And it requires extensive data processing, manipulation, and more spreadsheets. And then on top of that, specifically within real estate, you have many different regulatory requirements when it comes to carbon reporting, sustainability reporting. There is the federal, which might be specific sort of, industry ones. So trying to keep up with all the different regulatory requirements, there really isn't an easy way to do that and to manage compliance risk. Here's just sort of few headlines. What's happening in the marketplace? There is, and this is from last week, but I know there is more headlines coming from this week. And this is the regulators ultimately trying to put in the stop sort of to the greenwashing, and each our focus is primarily North America. So, in California, they're stringent. There's other sort of regulatory things that are specifically applicable to New York, and then even within Canada, the largest banks, the insurance providers, there is a lot of pressure sort of, coming down. And ESG and climate reporting is definitely part of the requirements. So our solution is to ultimately alleviate the pain of spreadsheets and all those regulatory requirements to make it easy. It is a reporting platform for sustainability teams to view the real-time greenhouse emissions and sustainability metrics in real time, help them save time by automating the greenhouse emissions. So as opposed to doing it by spreadsheets on monthly basis, and very often they would be doing it on quarterly basis. Now they can have real-time reporting to start moving and making their decisions towards reducing the emissions. As well, it is to save the time and the cost related to these sustainable resources, which very often they're engineers. These are specialized, skilled resources. So removing that manual data processing not only will save the time on the resources, but as well with the AI-driven recommendations that will help them to make decisions how to reduce the greenhouse emissions, which will also generate the savings. And the third sort of, is to help the sustainability teams to mitigate risk. And this is by monitoring in real time compliance, how the monitoring and how the compliance requirements are changing, and measuring everything related to scope 1, 2, and 3, all those activities and decisions all in real time. Here's a use case of a specific client that we were working with, and we started sort of working with them probably about sort of 3 or so years ago. We have automated their whole reporting process of getting the energy and greenhouse emission consumption directly from utility bills. streamlined the process, and it resulted for them in savings on not just only resources, but just overall, processing and efficiency by 80% for annual basis. We had some early market validation. We've been around since 2019. So some of our existing customers, it's Energy Advantage, ECAN, Community Foundations, and our platform really specializes in the areas of compliance. So we also have clients that focus on governance risk, sustainability, and security. And we're just adding sort of more clients to that list on a regular basis. Here's our market size. So the TAM, total addressable market for ESG reporting, in 2022 was 0.7 billion, and the serviceable market was 624. And this is just the area of the real estate sort of focus. So we took it down, just looking at specifically real estate and facility management. And then the serviceable, obtainable market that would apply to us within the real estate and facility for mid-sized organizations that we are targeting with employees over 50 translate to 700 million. So our product, here is sort of, a few snapshots to help you visualize what it looks like, what the platform looks like. So I talked about greenhouse emissions, but there is additional solutions within the sustainability platform that help to measure and monitor sustainability posture. Here's a sustainability scorecard. There is different abilities to just look at the different KPIs and things that you need to measure for your organization and keep tabs on. Our business model, our solution, it's a SaaS automation solution. It starts at 2,500 for the mid-size organization. So it's 2,500 per month plus a one-time setup. And depending on the volume, how many transactions, there might be additional storage fees. And if it's bigger, sort of more enterprise, there will be user fees and system integrations. As I mentioned sort of in the last slide, our market target, it's the real estate and facility management, which is about 14,000 with average annual recurring revenue of 50,000. Our potential revenue growth is to 700 million. Our adaptation strategy, we are focusing on direct sales, and this is by attending events, hosting webinars. As well, we have a partner referral program, and we're working actively on partnerships with sustainability consulting houses, system integrators, focus on ESG solutions, and real estate and facility management organizations, such as BOMA. As well, we are really excited with our channel partners. Our newest one is Siemens. And we are able to resell our software solution through their marketplace, as well Microsoft and AWS. Our competitors, Measurable, Navisto, Climate Manifest. There is sustainability is not a new concept. There is many different solutions that are out there. These specific ones are on the list because they look at ESG. They look not just climate, but they look at other areas of sustainability as well. How we compete against sort of those competitors, most of them are built for enterprise because of the security and the cost associated. We are enterprise cloud SaaS solution as well. However, we have competitive edge based on how we have built the architecture. We have patented AI knowledge discovery agent, and that agent, it learns the data sources, the structures, and it builds in the efficiency for collecting the data from decentralized portfolio companies. So if it's multiple locations, 100 portfolio companies within the real estate, we can easily go get that information. As well, the competitive edge is the integration engine. The way we look at information, we have designed it that we can not only connect software to software, but also with hardware in buildings, with decentralized operations, and unify all the data that we collect into one greenhouse emission single data set. And the third one is we have a pre-trained models related to greenhouse emissions protocol that we collect the information from the various meters and locations and consumption in real time. We convert that into greenhouse emissions, which is required to monitor the inventory on a regular basis. Quick company timeline. I'm going to skip it because I feel like I have covered and I heard some of the feedback in the prior session, but worth noting here that we did get, we are IRA partner and we have worked with them a couple of times. So we received a couple of grants sort of through them. And as well, Idea Fund, we're also partners with BDC. Our company traction in 2023, our revenue projection is 580 with our current monthly net burn of 15,000. In 2024, we project to grow our revenue to 1.677K, and this is a split between 80 and 20 monthly recurring and services. The way we plan to get there is by acquiring 65 new customers, and this is very conservative plan. So this is going to market 2025 qualified leads, and our assumption is 30% conversion. Here's just a quick snapshot of our technology partners and industry partners. Our team, so as I said, Sylvia, Gedge, my background is finance, digital transformation, and I've spent throughout my career solving the problem of eliminating spreadsheets. So I worked in a backend with many different systems, and my passion is really to re-engineer the processes to make it really, really simple for folks to be able to use the tools and really maximize the tools that are out there. Warren Gedge, who is also my husband, he is a technology pioneer. He has worked with big organizations like Amazon and Box, but most relevant is his career and involvement with Resolver, which was a GRC platform that he worked through M&A and sort of positioned that company for sale. I think it was just last year for a big amount of money. Sheldon Sawchuk is our Chief Product Officer. He's been in the SaaS business for a while, building solutions. With Infomart was the last exit, and Warren and Sheldon actually have a career of 15 years back, sort of working together and building softwares and exiting companies. My ask is we are seeking 1.5 million US. It's primarily to accelerate the growth and be able to invest into sales and marketing to become the #1 ESG sustainability platform for compliance reporting in North America. And we plan to be EBITDA positive in the 24 months. So 24 months, this would be when we would be, I guess, meeting our objectives. And here is this is sort of our UNSDG. Our mission is to provide companies with easy tools to integrate sustainability reporting to make those practices more attainable to all the organizations. Thank you.
Perfect. Great job. We're at 13 minutes and 10 seconds, so just a little bit to cut, but but on the right track. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's kick things off. Who would like to go first? I was waiting for an unmute, but I'll just call on Deb. Would you like to go first?
This was I'm having more difficulty with because I spent about 5 years fitting up our building and spent my time entrenched with the infrastructure around the built environment and the hesitancy that market has in making change and being innovative. Reporting is one thing that's usually put off to the side, and also the accessibility of the technology that enables it and its integration. So I guess I have a bit of a question around the integration. I know that you mentioned in one of the slides that it works smoothly with anything that's on board within the building or anything they'd like to introduce. These plugins, how is that going to happen? It could be in some organizations, it could be an HRM or a CRM or something like that versus the facility management technology, the prop tech.
So we would work in parallel with other systems. It's we've been referred to as that connective tissue. So it's actually bringing all the different pieces of data together. And the way we do that, it's through a different type of architecture that has been designed. We have done a proof of concept with Siemens, where we load our software onto their Edge IoT devices to connect all the devices together so we can centralize and then you can pull the data together. So it will be sort of that centralized system to get the information from other systems and consolidate it.
Okay, and is one of your competitors then build? You didn't mention build versus buy. You have 3 competitors that you mentioned. Are any organizations trying or attempting to sort of build this up within their existing systems or their existing reporting mechanisms?
I've been talking to big organizations. I think sort of it's a complicated system, right? It is a complicated process. One of the reasons why we have partnered with Siemens, because there is a lot of hardware that has limitations and specifically on the interoperability. They've created a marketplace and we were one of the first Canadian companies to join their global marketplace to enable their existing customers to have access to the information specifically on. So is other people, I feel like there's always competition. There's going to be other people doing this. And, part of it, it's raising funds so we get to the market faster. The ones that I mentioned, nobody really specializes in the hardware. Measurable is very much focused on real estate, but yet again, they don't really focus on the IoT components, on the edge components.
Yeah, it's nice to see that high-end innovation happening. And I also think it's really important to include the IRAP and the support that the government programming can provide you because it does validate as well. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deb. Maryam?
So I'm still not totally clear on whether you provide hardware and sensors or the overlay of software and automation.
So we provide software, no hardware component. We can load our software. We have a ability to load it onto the hardware, so we can connect the hardware. It's very often the problem within the buildings, and I guess prop tech would be to connect sort of the different pieces, especially where you have different vendors. It might be Dell, might be like there's so many different edge devices, and our process, the way sort of we have built the engine, we can connect any kind of, like, it's vendor agnostic.
Okay, I might be a bad person to contribute here because I was involved in a similar activity for the organization I was with. So we were looking into how to report those KPIs, and those names that you put up never came up. So it's a very different set of competitors that I was exposed to. And it was companies that connect directly into our hardware and extract data from the hardware and provide the end-to-end measures, not in Excel, but in very easy to use real-time data that's available at the anytime you go in and say, for this month, what was my power consumption? What were my KPIs? So that's been what I've seen demonstrated to me. And that's why I'm having trouble putting this in the same context. It's not, now my context was not just real estate, but the R&D labs and measuring specific equipment and figuring out how to optimize the use of that equipment. It was much deeper knowledge of how to get to better. So I'm struggling a bit on how you would compete with all these other available platforms.
I think it's the way we go and able to process the big data, and we've been sort of, why our clients sign up with us is because being able to get the greenhouse emission data across the utilities for your energy, for your water, for your waste, it is still done through paper. It is very onerous. It is done through paper. So leaving IoT devices, kind of on just the whole concept of measuring greenhouse emissions, it is very much paper heavy. And we remove sort of the paper and go to the source. It can be an edge device. It can be sort of an IoT device, but we can go directly to a utility, go into all those providers, go directly, extract the information, and then translate that into meaningful KPIs to measure energy consumption and greenhouse emissions. And it is across our focus right now is real estate, but this can be, we're having conversations with other industries as well. And it can be transferable across other industries.
Okay. And you have a working product right now?
We have a working product. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Pablo.
Thank you. Yeah, my my biggest comment, I think it's kind of similar to what others are saying, but I understand what you do at a high level, right? So sustainability platform for the real estate vertical, but I think the pitch lacks a lot of specificity. Like I would really like to understand from just comparing the two pitches in that regard, like who exactly is your customer? What exactly are they doing today? How does that look like? How does that work? And as a result of what they're doing in their processes, what are the big problems from a business perspective? Like I understand it takes time, right? Okay, but a lot of things take time, and if they're important, they get prioritized. So, what exactly does that translate into as a business problem, right? How much money does it really cost them, and so on and so forth. And then exactly what you had some screenshots, which was helpful, but it wasn't tied into a narrative from the perspective of a customer to help me, somebody who's not in this space, understand, oh, wow, okay, that would be really painful. And I could see why that customer in that setting would want to pay X dollars a month to have your product, your platform, instead of doing it the way that they've been doing it. It would also help you then later differentiate against how your competitors may be targeting it, and so on.
Okay.
I want to elaborate. Oh, sorry. I wanted to elaborate on your point, Pablo, that me experiencing this firsthand, that pressure that's put on you to try and find, there's so many SaaS monthly costs that you have to absorb, but your target market must be very specific to the organizations that need to be able to evidence the ESG, and then their relationship with their boards, the recipients on the other end. People have a higher expectation now, and also the compliance. So you must have a certain target niche then that you're looking for around compliance, and they have to be a certain size, I imagine. Sorry, Pablo, to take over that one.
Yeah, no, we are definitely looking at the mid-market and the real estate organizations that do have compliance requirements that, GRI is a big driver, and they already have made commitments towards net zero, and they're working to sort of some of those specific initiatives that they need to measure. And it is the biggest challenge. And I mean, we hear about in the media, people working towards net zero, but it's building the greenhouse inventory for your scope 1, 2, 3, which I know sounds very scientific if you don't really know what it is, but it's taking the information for your energy and then, extending that to the supply chain, like not only what am I doing, but what is my supply doing? How am I going to measure? So we've been able to figure out an effective way how to really stream that process and how to, collect this information, not only internally from those folks, but how to go to your supply chain and ask them for that information as well, and then roll it up and consolidate it.
And then just my other 2 points, one was more tactical, like in the market size slide, I think there's an error in how you're calculating the sum and the SAM. I don't know if you can pull it up really quickly, but typically you have your TAM, that's whatever it is, and then the other circles have to be a percentage of that original, right? So like your TAM is whatever it is, maybe it's the total spend on ESG software, and then your SOM is going to be, okay, cut out non-real estate because you're not focusing on that, okay? And then your serviceable is, of that, what do you think you can capture? So it should start at something and then smaller, but if you look at that slide, it was 0.7 billion to 700 million, and then it's 624 million, which is only a small decrease, and then it goes up to 700 million. So there's some sort of something that needs to get
something. Yeah, and you know what? Sort of full disclosure, I was working on this yesterday and I was rejigging a bunch of slides. So I flipped it
problem.
upside down and then I rebuilt a whole bunch of things.
No worries.
And then I
no
just
worries,
decided,
but
I'm like,
thought
I'm
I'd
just gonna
flag
go
that.
with the new deck anyways, and I'll fix it. But I appreciate it.
No worries.
We recognize Sheboot is a busy program and a busy 6 weeks, and you're implementing changes so quickly. So this is a judgment-free space, so don't worry about that, Sylvia. Okay, are there any? I have to hop on to the next pitch practice, but are there any other concluding remarks? You did a fabulous job, Sylvia, and it's a joy to see every week. I've been able to watch your pitch a few times, and it's been really cool to see it evolve.
Thank you.
Anything else to add?
I
No?
just wanted
Okay.
to say thank you to all. These were great feedback. I'm going to work on it.
Yeah. And I will
Yeah,
be
thanks,
making
everyone.
your recordings available at maximum will be 48 hours, likely will be within the next 24. So they'll be available on your Excel sheet. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Amazing.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a
Thank you.
fabulous Friday.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.